Hi there, welcome back to Save with Crypto. My name is Save with Crypto. And this video, I've tried to make this video about 5 times now since Friday. And the thing is that things keep changing quite rapidly, and also my thoughts about it keep changing quite rapidly, and the actual product I'm going to talk about keeps changing quite rapidly. And yeah, it's all happening fairly rapidly. So ZoidPay are now called Another, and the website is called anotherapp.io. Now on Friday, Edward and the team did a AMA on Twitter, or X, talking about everything that was getting released. Now since then they've admitted that they did it a bit wrong, because what they should have really done is just talked about the release of the app. Okay. Instead, what they did, they talked about a release of their own blockchain, okay, a release of another token, which is called Other, and then there was a kind of like document about the tokenomics of the whole thing that you couldn't get to because they hid it inside the app. Well, not really hid it. The idea was you downloaded the app and then you got to do a reveal after you'd made your first purchase. Now, this went down really, really badly because people were saying, why the hell is anyone going to, use an app where you can't even see the tokenomics until you've actually made a purchase, which is like ridiculous, really. I knew they were kind of going to do this. I didn't quite realise to what extent they were going to do it. And I think it was a mistake because the price of ZoidPay plummeted to nearly an all-time low, not quite, but very nearly. And loads of people just kind of sold their ZoidPay and kind of gave up on the idea. So yours truly here didn't. I did panic a little bit though, because I downloaded the app and I couldn't really get it to work properly. Now, some of that was my fault because I was using my driving license as a proof of ID, and you need to use something more like a passport or some sort of a government issued ID, like an ID card really, and the driving license won't do. But what that did, that gave me access. Well, it sort of like half did my KYC. It sort of gave me access to the secret document, and I looked at that and I thought that this isn't going to go down very well. Well, I don't know. The way it seemed to me was you could swap ZoidPay for Other, but you get a better rate if you agree to lock it up. And I don't know. It was just looking like the sort of thing that MultiversX would do, and consequently, a lot of people did not like it. So anyway, on Saturday, I redid my KYC using my passport, and I actually got the app working, kind of. There's a few things that aren't quite right with it, which I'll show you in a moment. But some of the guys in the team did take note of some of my really obvious things, like, there was like a dark grey button on a slightly darker grey background that you couldn't actually see. So they've changed all that sort of stuff. So it's actually looking a lot better now. And before we leave the website, I just wanted to say that where did they get this phrase from? Own your spend end to end. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, I kind of know what they're trying to say, but that's just a really crap sentence. I suppose it's supposed to rhyme, isn't it? But that just does not work at all. The actual name, Another, sort of growing on me. Now, I must admit myself, I tend to have a problem saying words that begin with a vowel, like another. I have to kind of consciously breathe before I say them. So it's not the best one for me. ZoidPay was better, but ZoidPay always sounded a bit childish to me. So Another is okay. And if you think about it, think about other things that are called like Wise and, I don't know, Monday and, the famous companies and stuff. They've all got like silly names now. So Another isn't really too bad. I mean, generally it looks a bit more professional without those like stupid Zoidsters everywhere. I think they could have made this card look a bit more exciting though. I'm hoping the real one won't look like that. But you never know these days with people wanting minimal things. Okay, well, here's the app anyway. So this is showing €3.76. Now, I think what that actually is, I think that's actually my fiat level on the actual card. So you can see here that it says euros 376, and then I've got two crypto wallets. I don't actually want two crypto wallets. This came about because another wallet one is the default wallet you get with the actual app, and then because I'd done the KYC wrong the first time, and I'd already put like 1,000 ZoidPay in there, I wanted to reuse that wallet. So what I did, I created a new wallet, and using the seed phrase, I restored that one there. So that's one of the first things that isn't quite right, is if I was to go to the one that I've restored, this is this one here, and you can see what I've done here. So basically I put in 1,000 ZoidPay, and what I tried to do was top up the card with that. Now you can't top up the card with ZoidPay. I mean, does that seem odd to you that you can't do that? I don't know, just to me. You can, however, top up the card with EGLD. So what I did, I put 0.4 EGLD into the wallet, and then I tried to top up the card with that. Now, for some reason, that failed, and I tried it again. I actually used 0.3 the next time, and that worked okay. And then what I did, I paid my internet bill with it, which was like £3.55. I can show you about that in a moment. If I was to come up here and click these three little button things here, you can see I've got the option to delete that wallet there. Obviously, I don't want to do that because that's the one I'm using. But if I was to go back to the other one, which is this one here, and click those three dots there, the only option I've got there is to check my seed phrase. I can't actually delete that wallet. So that's something I want to be able to do, and I can't. You can see here that this display of the balance is completely wrong, because that's showing a 0 in another wallet, 276 in another wallet, with a total of 0. That doesn't make sense, does it? And you can see there there's ZoidPay and a little bit of EGLD. So in fact, there's actually about $9 worth of stuff there. So that's not showing on the wallet. So that's something that needs fixing. I mean, I personally think these are really, really basic things that should have been right in the first place. Now, the problem is we never got to beta test the actual crypto top-ups. All we did was, like, Edward gave us like €10 into the fiat wallet, and then we spent that, and that's all we did in the beta testing. Now, the other thing I did, which is obviously the most exciting bit, is I did create a virtual card. Okay, so I created a virtual card and I topped it up with crypto. If you look at the transaction history there, it shows no transaction history, when in fact I topped it up and then I actually paid a bill with it. So you would have thought it should show some transaction history there, and it doesn't. So that needs fixing as well. Yet again, I think it's a very, very basic thing that should have been correct from the get-go. Yeah. Anyway, to top up that card, what I can do is click that, go to top up, and then in theory, I should be able to go to the wallet where I've actually got some money. So that's this one here. Then look for whatever I've got. So you've only got a choice of Ethereum, Bitcoin, BNB, and EGLD. So I'm going to say EGLD. Okay. Now I want the amount there to equal that. So it'd be really nice if there was a kind of max thing there, but there's not, is there? So I'm going to have to put in that manually. So 0.0998 998. I think that's right. Okay, let's confirm that. Now when you press hold to confirm there, this kind of progress bar appears. And yesterday that was kind of like really dim. It was a kind of like, another dark grey bar on a dark grey background. So you couldn't really see what was going on. So if we look at the transaction history here, you can see that hasn't happened yet. So I don't know how long I have to wait. Before it was kind of overnight before it topped it up, which I thought was highly inconvenient. But I don't know if that's because it was like the initial day or so of the card. So I think the only way to tell how much you got on the card is by going to amount, and then that amount there is probably how much I can spend on the card. But I think it'd be really nice if we could see what was going on there. It said like balance is that, even better if it showed the equivalent in the currency that I use. So for example, I'm in the UK, so I'm using pounds, even though this is all in euros. So I don't know how long I have to wait for that money to appear on the card. It's 6:12 p.m. now on Monday the 12th of August. So let's wait for a bit and see what happens. Now, a few of the things in the actual settings that I wanted to be able to change was the actual username. I wanted to put savewith.crypto, but there's not enough letters for that, so I had to do SW.crypto, which I wasn't totally happy with. In this white circle here, it just takes the initials from your name. I don't really like doing that because I don't use my real name, and in fact my initials aren't actually the names from my name that I generally use, so it's two letters that don't mean anything to me generally. So here you can do things like you can change the app pin. What you can't do here at the moment is click support 24, because that doesn't do anything. If you have a problem, I think you're going to have to be on the Telegram group asking about it there. And the thing is, I can't imagine that a lot of people would even know about Telegram who may be going to use this app, so I think really that should be working as soon as possible. So overall, these kind of figures displaying stuff wrong, not actually being able to see how much you've got on the card is pretty rubbish. But nevertheless, the card does actually work, and I did actually manage to pay this bill here. Now the actual amount I paid was €4.20. And I will just play the bit of video that I had prepared previously about this, because this is actually quite interesting. So I tried this again this afternoon on Sunday, and in fact it did actually work, and the bill is now paid. So I actually made the first payment of £3.55 with my whatever it's called, another card. That's good, that's the first payment. So let's have a look at the details of the payment. Okay, well the first thing I'm going to note here is that the top-up transaction didn't actually appear last night. This actually appeared this morning at 8:17. So that was when it told me that the top-up, the EGLD, was worth €7.96. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so that was 8 o'clock this morning. Now at 8 o'clock this morning, the price of EGLD, if you were to do like EGLD Euro on Binance, say, so this morning at 8 o'clock, the price was around €25.6. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So what I actually got, I got 796 for 0.3 EGLD. So that was as if the price was €26.53 per EGLD. That actually doesn't seem too bad at first glance, because going from crypto to fiat is always expensive. So that actually means that I paid €4.20 for that £3.55 bill. So if I multiply that by, say, the current price of a pound, which is €0.855, or is it the other way around? I can't remember. So I paid about £3.59. That is very acceptable. Right, for the actual Forex bit and the actual changing of the crypto, that is actually okay. I can't complain about that. Now, what is annoying is the fact that the crypto top-up I tried to do on the Visa card with the EGLD, that failed, and it failed because of insufficient funds. So it seems that there's a transaction fee of like 0.0000502 EGLD, which is like 0.13 cents. So that the transaction fee is really small, but what it means is like when you do that top up, you have to take into account the fees. It'd be so nice if we just had like a maximum or convert it all type feature, wouldn't it? So yeah, that's what it said there. It said failed, you see. So let's try and do that again, shall I? So let's go to card, and then oh, you see this button here, that was like really obvious before, wasn't it? And now it's really gone grey, isn't it? So it's really hard to see. I don't know why that is. I'm wondering if that's because I've got my phone in some sort of like, you know, auto dark mode after the sun goes down. Oh, now I need to look at the right wallet, so it's that one there. So change that. EGLD there. So the balance is 0.0998 something. So what I'm going to do, you have to kind of click that 0 to get the keypad to come up, by the way. So I'm going to say 0.099, and that should do it, I think. And say confirm. So that implies it was done. Okay. You can see the failed one there, and that failed one there. So the time now is 8:28 PM on the 12th of August. So let's see how quickly this crypto top-up works. Okay, so this time I got a different error. I got this error status failed. Okay. I don't know why that happens. And if I look back in the actual account, there is still a bit of EGLD left over. Not much, but like there should be enough there to cover the fees. So there's something not working there. Okay, so we've got an app that doesn't work very well. Edouard did say it has bugs. To me, the amount of bugs it's got is something you would expect on a beta version, not on a version that's actually in the Google Play Store. So I think that is very disappointing. We are working through these, submitting tickets and stuff to try and get this sorted. But I would have thought it would be better, to be honest. I do want this to succeed, obviously, but I think at the moment it looks like it's really unfinished and it's been rushed, which might be the case, I don't know. Okay, so that's what I think about the app. I mean, it's not amazing at all, and at the moment it doesn't seem that radical. I suppose it's like having a non-custodial wallet where you can kind of like top up a card if you're lucky, and then, you know, the actual rates that you can spend your kind of like euros at are reasonable, you know. So I have to compare that with other cards as well. But at the moment, if you ignore the fact that it's a non-custodial wallet, there are a lot of other apps that do the job much, much better. Edouard did the AMA on Friday, and what kind of happened was, as well as talking about launching the app, he also mentioned the rebranding. He also talked about the idea of the new token. He also talked about they're building a new blockchain. And I think really the whole lot was just too much for people to take, and they actually thought, we don't know what's happening here. So people just thought, I'm going to get out of it. People started selling their ZoidPay, and the price of ZoidPay plummeted by more than 50%. And then people started to download the app. They had KYC problems. People like myself just had problems. And even now, there's a lot of functions that either aren't there, or if they're there, they don't work very well. So the team's kind of busy repairing it, or, you know, trying to get the app actually working properly. To me, I would say there's a few more weeks' work in there. It's not approved in the Apple Store yet, and to be honest, if anyone from Apple tried to use it, I wouldn't approve it, because, you know, it doesn't work very well. In response to this, Edouard decided to do a kind of emergency AMA on Sunday. That wasn't on Twitter, that was on Telegram. If you want a copy of the audio file for that, there is one on the Telegram group, so if you join that, you'll be able to get that and listen to the whole thing. It's quite long, though. Lots of questions and answers from various people. But overall, it was good because what Edward did, he said, okay, I've got this proposal here saying there's going to be no mandatory swap between ZoidPay and other. ZoidPay and other are going to coexist. It seems like the actual shopping pools are still going to exist, and then banking validators are going to be something else that's kind of separate. So shopping pools will deal with merchants, and shopping, and the banking validators will deal with banking validation, if you like. So it was hard to work out if this news was kind of like going down well or not, but I think overall it was good, because a lot of the stuff Edward was saying that it's going to make it so that the community will vote on various ways to do things. I mean, it doesn't entirely mean it's like driven entirely by the community, because it's the same as if you were in the States at the moment. If you had to vote on two different presidents, you might not like either of them, but you have to vote for one. Well, you don't have to, but if you want to, you're voting for the best outcome there can be. But that said, it's going to put a lot more power in the hands of the ZoidPay community. So I think this was fairly welcome. Regarding the actual price, well, before the AMA on Friday, I was really happy to see the price of ZoidPay at like 1.7 cents, and I was thinking that's going to be great. That's going to go up to 10 cents. But of course, it dropped down by about like 36%. That wasn't good. And then today we're at kind of like 61% down from Friday. So that's seriously not good, is it? I think the thing is now is like nobody actually is going to buy ZoidPay because, well, at the moment there's no utility for it within the app. There will be, but really the app has to work first. So is it a good buy at the moment? I don't know, to be honest. I'm just going to sit on what I've got. I'm not going to sell any. I'm not going to do anything daft, because I think probably at the moment the kind of uncertainty part of FUD is very uncertain, because we don't know if the app's going to get fixed and get working properly. We don't know about the Apple thing, so there's a lot of things that need to happen. I do, however, think it will happen, but at the moment I can totally understand why people would be leaving ZoidPay for good. In my mind, what needs to happen is the app needs to get working properly, and all that kind of stuff like topping up the crypto, that needs to be made easier, so I can just go, I've got crypto, I hit top up, hit max or something, the fees are taken into account, it doesn't error, and it's all good. That should never be like a bottleneck for a person who isn't totally crypto savvy. Now, if someone like me who's quite experienced with crypto, if I'm struggling to even top up the card with crypto, then your average person is going to struggle much more, and that isn't going to be good for adoption. So that all needs to get made to be much, much easier. I'm still bullish on the project. I am disappointed by the fact that it just doesn't work as well as I thought it would. I'm disappointed by the fact that you can't do simple things like top up with ZoidPay. We don't know anything about the perks and cashback and all that kind of thing yet, because that isn't there. But when we do, maybe that will make it more attractive. The thing I haven't tried doing is using the actual IBAN to top up the fiat amount. I'm not going to do that until I see the card top-ups working properly with crypto, because at the moment that part of it seems very flaky. It's certainly not as good as I thought it would be, but I think in the future it could be. If you found this informative, please do give the video a like, and please do ask questions in the comments down below. While you're down there, please do make sure you are subscribed and you've got the notifications set on all. Liking the video is really important, so I really would love it if you could just like the video. And above all, maybe tell your friends. Well, at least about my channel anyway. Okay? Peace.